Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Pete Dederko, and I'm a Senior Product Marketing Manager for Microsoft Teams, where I lead marketing for our integration with Microsoft Power Platform. I'm joined by Matthew Bolianos, a Senior Program Manager for Microsoft Power Apps, and we're excited to share how organizations can empower their users with custom digital tools thanks to the integration of Microsoft Teams and Power Platform. The quote here says it all. We've seen 2 years worth of digital transformation in 2 months. That's from earlier this year when many were still grappling with dramatic changes to the way that we all work. I likely don't have to describe the challenges facing organizations today. Individuals need to remain productive as ever-increasing demands are placed upon them. Organizations need to remain nimble to adjust to changing business conditions, and processes must meet the needs of today, which might be very different from how they were initially designed. These challenges are not necessarily new. The same points could have been made in years past, but what has changed is the urgency to implement them and the stakes of getting it right. Meeting these demands is not really a competitive advantage anymore, as much as a necessity to keep marching on. Said another way, digital transformation is no longer optional, but rather a mission-critical part of doing business. Fortunately, we like to think that both Microsoft Teams and Microsoft Power Platform can play important roles in addressing these needs. First, let's talk about the remote workplace that many of us are using now. Microsoft Teams is a platform for teamwork that brings together chat, collaboration, meetings, callings, apps, and workflow. It is where many organizations and users are getting work done. With over 5 billion meeting minutes in a single day and over 75 million daily active users, that's a lot of remote work. Microsoft Power Platform is a low-code platform used to develop custom apps, bots, automation, and business intelligence, trusted and employed by an overwhelming majority of the Fortune 500. Both of these are powerful in their own right, but when you seamlessly integrate these, the result is a digital workplace with custom solutions that can simplify, focus, and accelerate work. Particularly telling is the fact that Power Apps and Teams usage more than tripled between February and May of this year. So over the next 30 minutes, I'd encourage you to keep 3 main points in mind. 1, Teams is a platform for apps and workflows, and Power Platform is an important element that can stand alone or bridge between ready-made solutions and traditional code capabilities. 2, any organization can build custom solutions for Teams using Power Platform, and many are running their businesses with this integration and seeing tangible results. And 3, the product investments for the Teams and Power Platform integration are making it simple to build, seamless to deploy, and easy to manage. But first, let's check out a few more reasons why we're excited about the Teams and Power Platform integration.
More than ever, businesses are looking for ways to be agile and save time and money. Microsoft Teams is a rich platform for work, offering so much more than just chat, meetings, and calling. With Power Platform in Teams, it's also a place where anyone can develop simple yet powerful low-code solutions that simplify work right within Teams. Power Apps is a low-code app-building platform that lets you easily create, edit, and publish apps directly to Teams, allowing you to simplify work across any device. Now, anyone can benefit from AI-powered, natural language-capable bots made right in Teams. Power Virtual Agents makes chatbots easy to create and scale across your organization. You can automate processes like approvals, reminders, and even robust enterprise-grade workflows using the Power Automate app. And turn your insights into action with a new Power BI app that lets you quickly find, share, and create data visualizations right within Teams. With Teams and Microsoft Power Platform, your opportunities to simplify work are endless, making it easier than ever to bring people together and achieve more.
You'll recall that I said Teams is a platform for apps and workflows. And I generally think of it as a spectrum, where at one end are those apps that are available off the shelf, like SharePoint or Office apps, or any of the hundreds of partner applications that can be added to Teams. At the other end of the spectrum are the full code solutions that you or professional developers may have spent time and resources building for your organization. We want you to continue benefiting from those while centralizing them and driving adoption by putting them where users are already working, right in Teams. But here we'll focus on this middle section, the low-code tools of Microsoft Power Platform, Power Apps for custom apps, Power Automate for workflow automation, Power Virtual Agents for low-code bot creation, and Power BI for rich data visualizations. While we're here to discuss the Power Platform integration of Teams, it's important to keep in mind Teams' full complement of capabilities. All the different components of Teams platform are like ingredients that can be used in a recipe. For example, Microsoft Forms can be used to trigger Power Automate actions, which can then be pushed to Teams. And I should point out that Power Platform is for professional developers too. The low-code capabilities can help accelerate app development. And thanks to the way that all the elements of Teams platform work together, pro developers can interweave different development methods to create a final solution. The second thing I've asked you to keep in mind is that customers are already running their businesses with Teams and Power Platform integration. We like to hypothesize about what customers are doing with this integration, but the real stories are much more compelling. Whether that's using this integration to streamline meetings and communications management, empowering an entire organization, including pilots, to build custom applications to simplify their work, digitizing paperwork so nurses and doctors can better serve patients, or putting digital tools in the hands of field technicians so they have the necessary information and reporting tools to do their work. In some cases, these have been efforts to digitize or simplify an existing paper-based process, whereas in other cases, the flexibility of custom bots, apps, automation, and data mean that they could imagine entirely new ways to get work done. The point is that any industry and any department can benefit from this integration, and that customers are seeing real savings of time and money, which can be returned to their businesses. And while we're always pleasantly surprised by what our customers build with the Teams and Power Platform integration, we also hear that they'd like some additional ideas for what they can get started with, in particular for their department. What you see here are a few examples of business processes that can be modernized and simplified with custom, purpose-built apps, bots, automation, and data. And hopefully it's clear here that really any business function or department can benefit from these custom tools, and it's particularly powerful when you consider all four elements of Power Platform as components of a complete solution. Now, this is by no means an exhaustive list, but we hope that it does spur some ideas. The last thing that I've asked you to keep in mind is that product investments for the Teams and Power Platform integration are making it simple to build, seamless to deploy, and easy to manage. Simple to build. With embedded Power Apps and Power Virtual Agent Studios and new Power Automate templates with a simplified creation experience, anyone can build the tools they need to get work done. Seamless to deploy. With pre-built solutions available in the Teams App Store and an easy bot publishing process, thanks to Project Oakdale, a new relational database with rich data types available for use in Teams, it's easy to get these digital tools in the hands of end users. And easy to manage. With Power Apps usage data in the Teams Admin Center, you can identify usage trends so it's clear what types of challenges are benefiting from these custom solutions and which tools are underused and might need to be improved. Hopefully from this list, it's clear that this integration is a major area of investment for both the Teams and Power Platform businesses. Now, I'd love to hand it over to Matthew, who can make these a bit more real than a bolded list can. So over to you, Matthew.
Thanks, Pete. That was a great introduction for everything that I'm about to share with you. I'm a senior program manager on the Power Apps team, and I'd love to start with showing you some of the stuff that my team has built for the Teams and Power Platform integration. So let's go ahead and get started. To get started, you'll notice that I added the Power Apps app to my app bar on the Teams client. I can just select it, and from there we will be able to see the brand new Power Apps personal app that we've created for Teams. It has a nice homepage encouraging me to go ahead and get started building an app. So we're going to go ahead and do just that. It encourages me to select a team that I want to build an app for. I'll select Operations, select Create. And what Power Apps will now do is get the Canvas Studio ready for us to build our first app for Teams. Since this app is for the Operations team, I'll go ahead and give it the name Operations Tracker and click Save. What you'll notice is in this new studio for Teams, we took the liberty to make the experience a little bit simpler. One such case is we've made it so much easier to build a home for your data for your applications. You'll notice there's a bright purple button that we can now select to create a new table. We need to track some of our inventory, so I'll go ahead and create a table for that. From here, I can simply add the additional columns that I need to track what I need to track for inventory. So for example, I might want to track the quantity, that's a number. I might want to keep track of the description of this inventory. So we'll go ahead and provide those two columns, have them loaded up. And if I now want to add some sample data for when I start building out my app, I can do that as well. So maybe I want to track some nails, maybe some screws, whatever my company might need to track for my operations. Once I'm done, I can simply select Close. And you'll notice the data that I just created, both the schema and the data itself, is in my app. And for me to actually use this in my application, all I have to do is add in a control from our control library and connect it to the data source that I just created, in this case, inventory. And here we can see the data that I just added and populated. If I want to, I can go ahead and adjust some of the fields so that we can see the information that I want to show. So instead of showing description, we can change it to quantity. Awesome. Now, if you don't want to necessarily create an app from scratch, as Pete mentioned, we are building a bunch of Power Platform solutions that you can actually find inside of the App Store. I've already taken the liberty to actually install one of these applications. So I'm going to go to the Build tab and actually show you what it's like to customize one of the applications that are ready for you on day one. So if we go back to the Build tab and check out Operations, we can actually check out all the apps that I've installed, including this area inspection. If I want to see what this looks like inside of the actual Teams team, I can go over, click on Operations, and go to Site Operations. And you'll notice that I have both the Manager app and the End User app pinned. I'll go ahead and select the Area Inspection app for the Manager. And inside of this application, you can see all the different inventory, parts, things that need to be checked by the end users. And as the manager, I can use this app to customize the experience that those end users see. So on this form, you can also see insights and also the inspection forms themselves. Now, bots are another great way to extend Teams. So let me show you how to create and edit a bot inside of Teams using the new Power Virtual Agents personal app inside of Teams. Like my Power Apps app, I've gone ahead and pinned it in my left app bar. I'll go ahead and select it. And just like before, we have a home page that encourages me to get started. Now for bots, I've gone ahead and actually pre-created a bot that will go ahead and edit. It's called my Lean Bot, so I'll select Lean Bot. And once this loads, we'll be able to see all the various topics that we've created for my bot, including equipment troubleshooting, greetings, thank yous, escalates. To get started, however, what I want to do is add an additional conversation piece to equipment troubleshooting. So I'll click on Go to Authoring Canvas. And if you're not familiar with Power Virtual Agents, the canvas that you see right here is really a decision tree of sorts for how the conversation should go. We start by asking what you need help with. We have a multiple choice option, different behavior depending on the option. And you'll notice at the end here, if someone selects generator, we just end the conversation. What we want to do is provide an answer to this question. So we'll select show a message and say, here is the troubleshooting guide for generator. And I can make this a link if I want to, so that when a user clicks on the link, they can actually get that PDF guide. Awesome. I'll go ahead and click Save, and I'll go back to my list of topics. The other topic I'd love to show you how to change is the greeting. What's really cool about bots is that you can actually use variables to make the bot a little bit more personalized. So right now it just says, hey, I'm a virtual agent, but wouldn't it be nice if it actually greeted the person by name? So I'll say, hey, click on this variable button, and I can actually pull in the user's display name. That way, when we play the bot in a bit, I have it saying my name. I'll go ahead and click save, just like before. And now it's time to publish my bot. I'll simply go to the publish button, click publish. And what this is going to do is share this app with everyone that I need to. Now that we're in the Built for Contoso section, we can see that the Lean bot has been added here. We'll go ahead and select it, click open. And this will actually open up the bot that I can have a conversation with. And so let's actually use one of the conversations that we programmed into our bot. So we'll say, I need help with maintenance. It'll provide me the options that you saw earlier. I'm having issues with equipment troubleshooting. I can say I need help with the welding machine. And then it provides a link to the troubleshooting guide, which if I select, will open up a PDF. Next, let's switch gears once again and talk about Power Automate. Now that we're in Power Automate, we can go ahead and create our automation. Now, automations might sound a bit daunting, but really all you're doing is defining a trigger. So when does the automation start? And an action, what does the automation do once it's started after the trigger? To make it even easier though, what we've done at Microsoft is build a bunch of templates for you to easily get started. We have a few on the home page, but if you go to the create page, you can also see a bunch of other categories of templates that we have to offer. What I'm going to use, however, is one of my favorites, which is post a welcome message whenever a user joins a team. I'll go ahead and select it. And what we've done in this dialog is introduce what we call a diet designer, which really just asks the minimum set of questions to get you on your feet with your first flow. So it asks for a few connectors. I'll go ahead and click continue. And then it asks for some parameters that the flow needs to run. So the first one asks for, hey, for this trigger, when should I send a notification when someone joins? I want to say the operations team. The second one is asking, hey, where should I actually input or post the message of, hey, here's this new user. So again, I'll select the same team. And then the last one asks, hey, which channel do we actually post this message in? And I'll select announcements. Now in this message down here, we could actually change this up if we wanted to make it even more custom, but I'm pretty happy with this because it grabs the person's name, their job title, their office, etc. And with that, I'll click Create Flow. And you'll notice with just a few clicks, I was able to take that template to create a brand new flow. And if I want to, I can actually go back to my home screen, see that flow I just created, and actually edit it even further, maybe add additional actions, which is what I've done in this flow, welcome a new team member and schedule a meeting. And from the title, as you might guess, what I've done to this flow is actually add additional steps to schedule a meeting so that this new person can meet everyone else on the team. So the first 3 steps are what's part of the out-of-the-box template. So whenever a new team member is added, get their profile and send that message. But you'll notice we're also trying to get some meeting times that work for this user. And if we open up these conditions, you'll see that we're actually creating a new Teams meeting for this new employee. And I've actually run this flow in the past. And so if we go to our Teams team and go to operations and announcements, we can actually see the notification that was sent whenever Weston joined this team. It pulled in his title, his office location, everything that people need to know to really greet this new employee. And what's great is, like I added those extra steps, a meeting has been created and put on my calendar so that I can go ahead and meet with Weston to get him up to speed on what's necessary for the team. Lastly, I want to show you Power BI, what they're bringing with this new round of updates. So if I go ahead and click on Power BI in my left app bar, we'll be able to check out the brand new Power BI personal app. With this new integration, you can effectively see all of the power that you're used to with Power BI inside of Teams. I'm particularly interested in sales, so I'll go ahead and select this report. And just like on Power BI on the web, I can see the report, I can filter things and see things updated, but I can even go so far as edit this new report. So I'll go ahead and select edit. I'll hide some of this stuff. And to make room, I'll go ahead and delete one of these charts and add in here this new smart narrative control. And what's really, really cool about this control is that it can actually use AI to analyze this data and provide human readable analysis of what's going on in your report. And just like before when I was slicing and dicing and seeing what changed, as I slice this data, this control will also update all of its information, which is incredibly powerful. And what's great is all these tools that Pete and I have been showing you, Power BI, Power Virtual Agents, Power Apps, and Power Automate, can all be used together to develop truly holistic solutions that allow you to collect data, say with apps and bots, to automate your data with Power Automate, and then visualize and reason over your data using Power BI. And with that, I'd like to transition it back to Pete so we can round things out for us.
Great. Thanks, Matthew. Earlier, I mentioned that Teams and Power Platform is easy to manage. We hope that you and your users will start building custom apps with Power Apps. But we know that understanding how apps are being used in your organization is important. And that's why we're excited to announce that admins will soon have access to usage analytics for Power Apps applications that are deployed inside Teams. Admins will be able to see active users and active teams, as well as some deeper statistics that show how app usage patterns are forming. With this information, it's easy to understand which apps are getting traction and might merit promoting at a bigger scale. Now, once custom tools are built, driving adoption can be challenging. Fortunately, with permission and settings policies, admins can ensure that their users see what they want them to see, whether that means fewer apps, or if they want to highlight the apps that are really critical and should be leveraged by everyone in a team or an organization. The Teams Admin Center provides these granular controls over the experience available to users. And an important concept of Power Platform is that each user requires access to these tools, meaning that your data are controlled in a very deliberate manner. App owners can share access with users and even channels and provide users with owner access if greater permissions are required. So what you see here is I'm actually providing Addie access to this app, making her an owner, and I'm also adding the human resources channel so that everyone here can access this application. Now, you may recall that earlier I'd asked you to keep 3 main points in mind. 1, Teams is a platform for apps and workflows, and Power Platform is an important element of that platform. 2, any organization can build custom solutions for Teams using Power Platform. And 3, the product investments for Teams and Power Platform integration are making it simple to build, seamless to deploy, and easy to manage. If you're interested in learning more about these points and enabling your organization to build custom tools for Teams, I'd encourage you to explore the resources listed here, which can help you ideate and get started building, with great learning resources like App in a Day, Bot in a Day, Flow in a Day, and Dashboard in a Day. Now, I'll leave you with one more customer that has transformed the way that they equip their colleagues who are on the front line serving customers. So thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope you enjoy this.
The biggest changes for our business has been the way that we communicate things out to our technicians.
When we looked at the ecosystem for a field technician, there were lots of different applications and systems and links and places to go and get information, having to manage and service all of that. It can be quite challenging. And what we really wanted to do is we wanted to really bring that together into one place for them. Microsoft Teams has been really important to running our field services. We saw this amazing opportunity to integrate Power Apps. We created 2 platforms, Technician Plus and Leader Plus, linked into Microsoft Teams, has made that cohesive experience for our users.
really has everything. It's more about automating and digitising a lot of those manual processes which were typically done via paper. It's really been an integral part of ensuring that the rest of the technician workforce is up to speed.
First thing in the morning, I log onto my tablet, jump onto Technician Plus to make sure I'm across all the new communications and news that is uploaded there daily. Then I travel to my first job.
I think the foundations that we laid has really helped create that platform for crisis management, whether it be fires or floods or obviously the most recent pandemic. We have to be quite agile in the way that we develop solutions to be able to manage those. And I spent about 7 years in the field servicing our customers. I then transitioned to a role in the field digitisation team. I don't have a typical software engineering or IT background, and what the Power Platform has allowed me to do is really develop an application within 48 hours with end-to-end reporting. We've automated and digitised around 70 processes.
We had visibility of weather warnings, and we have meetings on MS Teams daily with our field leads just to ensure our safety before we are mobilising.
Technicians will go out to those sites and they'll capture photos through their tablet, and then our resource coordinators can visualise that information in a Power BI report.
Being in the field, we knew where to go for the updates and communications. It's increased our efficiency dramatically. We can service our customers quicker.
Power Platform has helped us get about 10 million minutes back into our business, which has increased the productivity of our people. I'm really passionate about building that community of problem solvers, seeing those guys out there using the tools that I've developed, and it makes you want to provide a better experience.
I like resolving customers' issues, and the tools that we've been given definitely improve our experience and the customer's experience.